Hello Harry Potter fans, Peter Kenneth here. Welcome back to the Potter Collector channel, where we are a community of collectors. Today we are taking a look at the new house editions, the Goblet of Fire house editions published by Bloomsbury. Before we begin, this video is sponsored by New Zealand Mint, makers of fine gold and silver collectible coins and miniatures. New Zealand Mint sent some beautiful pieces for me to show you guys. They've sent their 1 ounce and 1/4 ounce solid gold Hogwarts Express collectible coins, both their Hogwarts Express and Hogwarts 1 ounce silver coins, and their classic poster 1 ounce silver coin featuring the poster of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Each collectible coin is made in a limited quantity, is presented in Harry Potter themed packaging, and comes with a certificate of authenticity that guarantees the pure quality of the precious metal the coin is made out of. The gold coins are cast using 9999 fine gold, which is basically pure gold, and the silver coins are created using 999 fine silver. Extra thought was put into display of these items. The coins are sent in wooden boxes, and with the help of magnets, you can quickly and easily prop up and display your collectible coins. The poster series coin arrives sealed in an acrylic casing for protection. New Zealand Mint ships all orders for free worldwide. You can browse all of their Harry Potter related precious metal products by clicking on the link in the description down below. New Zealand Mint is also offering 10% off any of their Harry Potter related silver products, including the silver coin notes, which you may remember from a previous Potter Collector review. To save that 10% off, make sure you enter the Potter Collector 10 during checkout. Now, Bloomsbury is re-releasing all 7 of the Harry Potter books in these beautiful house editions. Each one features a different house as well as different information about that house in the book itself. We have Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin, both in hardcover and paperback format. Now, one of the things I love about what Bloomsbury is doing is for both the hardcover and the paperback books, they are alternating colors. So for example, if we take a look at Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in the Gryffindor version, it's a black cover. Chamber of Secrets is mostly red, AZKABAN is black, and then Goblet of Fire is red. What that does is it creates a striped pattern when you display them on your shelves. I think this was absolutely brilliant, and when all of them have been published and they're together, it's going to look so cool. Let's take a look at the hardcovers first, so we'll put the paperbacks aside for a second, and we will start with Gryffindor. Now, the front cover on all 4 of these have differences on them that you can spot and look for. On the Gryffindor cover, we can see a golden egg and Harry on his firebolt, and a Hungarian horntail is kind of entwined around the Goblet of Fire here. The top has like a Medusa-like character. There's a beetle there, which we know represents Rita Skeeter. Each one of these house editions is beautifully designed when it comes to this front cover. Levi Pinfold, who designs all of these covers, has done a great job on them and makes you want to dive into and explore some of the differences and see what things that represent Harry Potter you can find. On the spine here, we have a different lion, one that we have not seen on the previous Gryffindor books. So when looking at the spines, each one is different on each book. On the back cover, we have a Gryffindor crest, which is identical on all of the different books. There's a unicorn on one side, Griffin on the other, and a lion in the center, as well as the traits of a Gryffindor. Now, another thing that the hardcovers feature that the paperbacks don't is the text block has a striped pattern as well, which allows you to display your books backwards. Now, if you really wanted a lot of color on your shelves, you could turn the black ones backwards and have the spines of the red covers showing, and that just adds another pop of color to your bookshelf. For me, I love the black, red stripe pattern that Bloomsbury is doing. When we open up the book, we see that artwork that's on the front cover, as well as a portrait of Godric Gryffindor. Now, we see this in all of the house editions, and then in the back of the book, there's information about Gryffindor House that is different on each book. And then the next page has kind of an introduction to Gryffindor when it comes to this particular book. There is a map of the Hogwarts grounds done by Levi Pinfold. And then if we flip to the back of the book, there is some more information about Gryffindor House, as well as a featured character. Let's see who the featured character is in, the featured character in the Goblet of Fire books is Rubeus Hagrid. So there's some information about Hagrid as well as some different quotes. And then some additional information is a painting, and the painting is about Sir Cadogan, which of course famously took the place of the fat lady in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. But there is some information about Sir Cadogan and his portrait. And then there is usually a quiz in the back of these books too. Now the quiz is identical in all 4 of the house editions, but the different information like the portrait info as well as the featured character, which is Hagrid in this book, is different in each house edition. So Bloomsbury didn't just create a beautiful looking book, they actually stuffed it with new info that we don't know about. Let's take a look at Hufflepuff next, and this is artwork from the 3rd task. This is the maze, and look at that, we have a Blastinate Scroot, a spider, a Sphinx, a Dementor, which is really a boggart in the maze itself. But this shows different things that Harry and the other champions encountered during the 3rd task in the maze. At the top, we see the Triwizard Cup, and then Harry entering the maze there. There's also a beetle. So I wonder if there's gonna be a beetle on all 4 of these covers, but there is Rita Skeeter, AKA the Beetle, in her Animagus form. I really like this, and I love seeing the Blastinate Scroot. On the spine, we have a new picture of the Badger. And on the back, we have the Hogwarts crest, which has a wolf, a hog, and then the badger in the center, the traits of a Hufflepuff on the bottom, and then check that out, there's a snail and a bumblebee at the top of the crest. All right, let's take a look at the information on the inside. Here is the portrait of Helga Hufflepuff, which we do see in the previous house editions, so there's always a portrait of Helga Hufflepuff in a house edition. And then the introduction to Hufflepuff House, which again has a Goblet of Fire theme to it. Talks about Cedric Diggory and some other things. The map of Hogwarts, and then when we flip to the back, we have that quiz that we saw in the Gryffindor version, and the featured character is Cedric Diggory himself. There's the portrait of Cedric, as well as some information about Cedric, some quotes, and then the portrait is of the giggling pair. Next up is Ravenclaw, and on Ravenclaw, we don't see one of the tasks, but we see the arrival of the Beauxbatons Academy. There are winged horses connected to the Beauxbatons carriage. I'm not quite sure who this is. It looks like someone holding like a serving tray. And then at the bottom, I'm guessing that's Fleur Delacour. And there is a beetle, we found the beetle. So there's gonna be a beetle on every single one of these. The beetle is kind of intertwined with these winged horses. This is a beautiful design. It's not one of the tasks, as I mentioned, but really, really beautiful design. And the back cover features the Ravenclaw crest, as well as Ravenclaw traits. On the inside is a portrait of Rowena Ravenclaw, as well as an introduction to Ravenclaw, and the featured character in the back is Garrick Ollivander. I did not know he was a Ravenclaw. See, that's what's so fun about these books. You learn something new with each one that comes out. And the portrait, the drunk monk's portrait in Hogwarts Castle, and then there's information about that portrait as well. And then that quiz that we saw before. Last but not least, let's take a look at Slytherin, which features, this features a bunch of things actually, the 2nd task, but it also features the graveyard scene, as well as the arrival of the Durmstrangs. Victor Crumb is the character on the bottom, which probably tells me on Hufflepuff, the character on the bottom was supposed to be Cedric Diggory, not Harry Potter. And the giant squid is kind of intertwined around everything. We see the Durmstrang ship, Tom Marvolo Riddle's gravestone is at the top, and then that beetle hidden on the side. Taking a look at the back, we have the Slytherin crest and Slytherin traits. That new snake on the spine. On the inside, I'll show you the portrait of Salazar Slytherin. Introduction to Slytherin, and in the back, the featured character. Whoa, that's quite a featured character. It's Voldemort himself, holy cow. So the featured character in the Slytherin edition of Goblet of Fire is Voldemort. And then it has various quotes of Voldemort throughout the Harry Potter books. I do not forgive, I do not forget. Dinner, Nagini. That gave me chills the moment I read it. Let's see the portrait is Phineas Black. And this is a portrait that we see in later books, and it's a pretty important portrait in book 7. And then once again, we see that quiz in the back. Those are the hardcover versions of the house books. Let's take a look at the paperbacks, which are pretty much identical, except for their paperback and their opposite color. So we have a black book. Prisoner of Azkaban was a colored book, whereas the hardcover of Prisoner of Azkaban was in this black design. A lot of times when you're looking at the black version of the books, the front cover artwork really pops. So you can see a lot more detail in the front covers when there's a black background. The back is a little bit different from the hardcover versions. It has a little bit of a description of the book. We see that portrait of Godric Gryffindor in there, and the information that you find in here is exactly the same as the information that you find in the hardcover version, including the quiz and the information about Sir Cadogan and the featured character Rubeus Hagrid. Now, one thing that the paperbacks don't have that the hardcovers do is the striped pattern on the text block of the book. It's just a solid color depending on the particular house edition. Here is Hufflepuff. This one in particular really pops. The artwork just really pops, and you can see the different creatures that the champions encounter in the maze. Ravenclaw, which looks particularly beautiful because of the gold flames that are exploding from the cup. Because the blue is a darker color, it does get a little bit lost in the black compared to the hardcover, which is a blue background and black artwork. It's definitely not bad or hard to see, it's just a little bit harder to see than the hardcover version. And we have Slytherin in the paperback format. You can really see the detail of the ship as well as the giant squid down on the bottom. I just love the little design elements where this banner which says Slytherin is just curled around and tangled amongst the giant squid's tentacles as well as the ship. Now, something I've spoken about in previous videos of these house editions is the quality of the books. The colored version, whether it's paperback or hardcover, feels and is higher quality than the plain black ones. I'm not sure why, but the material on the black version of the books just feels like a lesser quality material than the colored version. The colored version has like a velvety feel to it almost and feels very high quality, whereas the black version just has a smooth, cheaply printed book feel to it. I don't know how to describe it, but the color version always has a higher quality feeling to it than the solid black versions. Let's take a quick look underneath the dust jacket that comes with the hardcover versions. It's a solid black book with colored lettering on the spine. Now, the spine does not match that of the dust jacket. On the spine of the book itself, it has the title, Slytherin edition, it would say Hufflepuff edition or Ravenclaw or Gryffindor edition, depending on the book, and J.K. Rowling, and then the Bloomsbury logo on the bottom there. The quality of the board it's okay. It's not terrible, it's not great. These do get dented very easily. A lot of times they'll arrive with corners or the spine damaged. What's great though about ordering it from a company like Amazon or Book Depository, if the book is damaged, they will have you send it back and then replace it for you with a new copy. If you would like to purchase these books, I've left information down below in the description to show you where you can purchase these, as well as the previous 3 books that have been released. Now, Order the Phoenix is coming out in a few months. It will be out in June of 2020, which tells us that Bloomsbury has gone away from releasing them as 20th anniversary books. So Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and Prisoner of Azkaban were released as 20th anniversary books. So they released them basically around or on the 20th anniversary of the book. Goblet of Fire was printed in the same year as its 20th anniversary, which was 2020. The book was released in 2000, but now they're releasing Order of the Phoenix in June of 2020. These are now just special house editions that they will be releasing. I'm kind of glad about that though, because if we had to wait for the 20th anniversary of Order of the Phoenix, we'd be waiting for another 3 years, which means we would have to wait 7 years to have a complete set of these 7 books. So I'm okay with Bloomsbury's decision. So what do you think? Do you prefer the hardcovers or the paperbacks? Or are you like me and have to get both of them in all 4 houses? Leave a comment down below and share your thoughts with the rest of the Potter Collector community. If you have any questions about Harry Potter collecting, or anything else, please feel free to leave a comment down below. You can also join the Potter Collector on Instagram at the Potter Collector or on Twitter at Potter Collector. Now it's time to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, keep collecting. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, welcome. You can subscribe right up here. You can also look at some previously posted content down here. If you have any questions about Harry Potter books or collecting, please feel free to contact me. I'm always happy to help. But for now, I must go. See you next time.
Whoa, where'd he go?